At just 20 years old and 5 months into this whole online business space, I've been able to make close to $50,000, 17,000 that being just last month in June alone. And I've learned some very important lessons and kind of had to learn the hard way with a lot of different things. So in this video, I'm going to be breaking down what I've actually learned, not just like for you guys to hear, but also for myself to be able to kind of retain this knowledge and come back to it. Because it's not what you think it is. Me, with that being said, just to kind of give myself an introduction, my name's Jake. I'm in like the online high ticket sales space when it comes to like selling programs, mentorships, courses, and stuff like that for influencers. Yeah, like I said, I got into it 5 months ago back in February without really any previous experience, and have now been able to make over $15,000 the last 2 months, hit like 6, 7, 8K over the past other ones. And I'm at a point now where I'm starting to really actually realize it's not what you think it is. So let's kind of get into that. Um, First off, man, is just you have to be smart with the money that you make. I've been able to buy this car. I wasn't really driving anything crazy before this. It was like a old, 10-year-old Chrysler 300. So I was able to buy this car. I was able to buy a watch. I don't have it with me right now. Wish I did, but you guys can see it in my other videos. Um, you know, have everything, bro. I don't have to think about what I want to eat. I don't have to think about bills. Everything's paid, and life is quote unquote good. But you have to be smart with the money. So that's gonna be your first thing, bro. Is a lot of people will tell you to blow your first like 10K, which I don't regret spending the money that I've spent, but money is leverage at the end of the day. And so if you're bringing all this money in every single month, but you're not keeping a big portion of that, you're really not building anywhere. You're essentially just like treading water. And that may seem like common sense to most people, um, which obviously it is common sense, but it's hard when the money is coming in so quick. You're just going to start spending. So lifestyle inflation has been a huge thing for me. Um, like I said, I've made close to $50,000 over the past 5 months, and I can tell you one thing is that I don't have close to $50,000 in my bank account. So that's lesson number one: is you have to be smart with the money. I've taken a lot of trips. I've bought some clothes and stuff like that, but ultimately, I was sitting in my room today when I was kind of planning out making this video. I'm like, what do I really have to show for that money? And obviously the car is nice, the watch is cool, the trips are fun, but ultimately that's not why we're doing this, right? We're doing this so we can set our future selves up for something better. Um, I've spent money on just bullshit, right? Miami trips, you know what I'm saying? Clubs, strip clubs, like just shit that you don't need to do, bro. Like I said, I don't really regret it, but you have to be smart with it, because if you're making all this money but you're not keeping it, what's the point of all this, bro? To just keep on getting stuck in the same cycle. And so that's what I started to realize, is that I've been getting stuck into a cycle of making money, spending money, making money, spending money, and not going anywhere. So I'm at the point now, where that's like the first big thing I really realize is like, we gotta keep the money. I mean, if you're gonna spend it, at least like send it to your mom or something like that. Like, there's no point in making all this money if you don't keep it. And when you get your first $2,000 check or your first $5,000 check, you're gonna want to spend it. Number one thing I would recommend is actually like having a step, like a game plan, right? Like I actually do a budget, because right now I have a budget and I can still live the life I want to live. It's all the stuff that you don't think about, or the trips, or that dinner here, that dinner there, and you look at your fucking Amex card and it's $5,000. It's like, damn. So, bro, I spent like $3,000 or $4,000 last time in Miami on what? Straight bullshit, bro. I don't have anything to show for it. So that's the number one thing, is money's leverage, right? Because if you have 50 or 100K in your bank account, there's a lot. You can buy yourself so much time. That's the biggest thing, is that money buys you time. Not only does it buy you time where you can like pay for Uber Eats, or you could pay for somebody to do your laundry, but it buys you time, because when you have that money, you can take your foot off the gas and pivot, right? You have more leverage, you're more flexible. So that's the number one thing that I've learned. Let's think of the next thing. I'll cut the clip real quick. I didn't really have a plan for this video. All right, thing number two that I've learned is you have to protect your energy. In May, for example, I made like 14.5K. And I probably went out more nights. I live at a college town, so there's tons of opportunities, girls to meet, dudes to talk to, stuff like that, fun stuff. and I probably went out more nights than I stayed in my house in May. The thing is the money was coming in, but I wasn't getting anywhere, right? My skill set wasn't improving. I was just plateauing, happy with where I was at. And obviously, I started to lose myself a little bit, bro. Um, I realized that I hadn't had just like a night to myself in a long time, despite living alone here, not really knowing too many people. And so if you give your energy out to everybody else, you're not going to have any energy left for yourself. Um, so like it's easy to live fast. It's easy to go out when there's opportunities and you don't have to think about the price of a drink. But it's not just just because you have the money and just because you have the freedom to be able to do these things doesn't mean that you should make it a regular occurrence, because that's legit the quickest way to lose yourself. What I mean by lose yourself is just not knowing why you're doing what you're doing. Like I said, you're just doing it because you can, but not because you should be. I found myself, and obviously, like I said, bro, I don't blame myself because I had to learn one way or another. But finding myself going out, right, spending money on a table or just hanging out with people, and then I'm at the club, like just disassociating, like why am I here in the first place? And so that's the other thing that you have to think about is like you have to have like intentional actions. Obviously, it's good to have fun sometimes. You want to hang out with people, but like if you don't deserve to do it, if you haven't like done anything or have a reason to do it, you shouldn't be doing it in the first place because you're just taking energy away from yourself, which means you can't build what you want to build, which means you're slowing down your progress. And like, I've had some talks like with my, that kind of leads us into point number three. Is like find out who your friends are. Um, there's two types of friends, bro. There's your friends, and then there's your business friends. Which obviously like I love the guys that I work with. I respect them, but at the end of the day, it's always still gonna be transactional, like one way or another. So you do like everybody says it's been a running joke like, oh, Jake's gonna cut off all his day ones because I'm from like a small hometown, which is like true. When I was first getting everything building, like I didn't hang out with them, I didn't really talk to them. But now that it's coming back, it's like you do have to have some real people that you can have real conversations with, because those are the people that like, it's easy to get on your high horse, bro. Like my ego, I've been douchey, I've been becoming a person I'm not just because I haven't like really thought about what it is that I want. Cause like, bro, obviously you're 20 years old, you drive a nice car, you fucking have everything that you want. Of course your ego's gonna be high, but you have to have people to keep you in check. Cause if you're hanging around people who influence you to act a certain way, obviously you're gonna act that way. But if that's not who you are inside, that's an easy way to lose yourself. So I've talked with friends that like shared a perspective with me. They're like, bro, you're making, you know, obviously my income's gonna continue to go up, but they're like, bro, if you control your spending a little bit, if you're more intentional, you could legit retire in 5 or 10 years and like not have to worry about money for the rest of your life. And it's like, damn, it may seem small because you're first getting the money that you're making, it's coming in now, but like if you're really smart and you move properly, bro, like I could be set for the rest of my life. But if I continue to live this like unhinged life of not thinking about other people, um, not thinking about the money just because I don't have to, setting myself up to be, in a bad spot pretty soon if I continue to live the way that I was living, which obviously is why I'm making this video in the first place and why I made that change. All right, and then another thing is like money money makes you more of who you are, but it can also change the way you do things. Like money can solve problems, but it can't solve you. Alex Hormozy, I think, is the one who like says this, but or no, it was somebody else. From I'm not sure if you guys know who Dave Ramsey is, but one of his guys like on his show, he says you go with you or you come with you. So like you might not be happy with the money you're making, or you are, right, but you're like, say you're at 10K, you want to get to 100K a month, or you're at zero, you want to get to your first 10K. You have to understand that you come with you. So the way I feel right now, same way I felt, not the same way, but you come with you. You have to find happiness with who you are, and you have to be a person that you like. I started to become like a douchebag, bro. Like just not really caring about what other people think, only thinking about myself, throwing money at my problems. Oh, this inconvenience here is $500. Like just shit that just doesn't make sense. But obviously, it's hard to fathom that because you're just living in the moment. I'm only thinking about myself. I mean, not to get like too deep. I mean, fuck that. It's important to get deep because like that's what it's about. But like, I've become a person that like I'm not necessarily happy with, or I was acting like that. Um, for example, there was like this girl that I talked to. I actually cared about this girl, and some like minor inconvenience came up. Not minor inconvenience, but I didn't do my part for something. Like I had to give her something. I didn't tell her. I left the city, went to Miami, like whatever, and she was like, "Oh, you know, when can you do that?" And I was like, "Oh, don't worry about it. I'll just Zell you." And looking back at that, it's like obviously it's kind of funny. Like, yeah, just I'll Zell you, but like that's not who I am, bro. Like, just putting myself above everybody else. And yeah, you have to be selfish. You have to spend time to yourself, work, of course, but like don't lose yourself, right? I started, not caring about my friends as much, right? Like not putting other people's thoughts and feelings. Um, I just put them to the back of my mind, and it started to fuck up my relationships, which is obviously not something that you want to do. So like if you just throw money at all your problems, if you start forgetting about everybody else, it's like it's cool and all because you can get to your first 10K, um, but you don't want to be a fucking asshole, bro, because it's gonna catch up to you. Um, you know what I'm saying? Not caring about what other people think or putting yourself first. And I don't mean this in terms of like, oh, yo, let's go out, and then like you say yes because you're putting them first. That's not what I mean, because you have to be selfish with your time. But like problems and like relationships, stuff like that is like you can't just ignore that shit just because you have money. Like, cool, you have 15K last month, but you still have problems. You still have people that care about you, that you care about, and if you lose yourself and you just throw money at that, it's gonna lead you to a bad place. It's gonna come back to you, right? Whether that's talking shit behind somebody's back or just like not giving a fuck, bro. I know I'm really, really yapping pretty bad here, but it's like you have to consider. Maybe it's not everybody. Maybe it's not everybody. Maybe it's just me. But just fucking care about other people because it'll catch up to you. And so like as I've made more money, I became more selfish, more not giving a fuck, and it's put me in a spot to where now I have to like rebuild relationships and stuff like that, um, simply because I didn't give a fuck. And it's like just don't let yourself get to that point. Don't let the money change you. Um, it changed me in terms of like how I act sometimes, but it didn't change who I am inside. It's just my actions weren't aligned with who I am inside, if that makes sense. So I had to kind of like refine myself, realize that I'm not this fucking throw money at all my problems kind of guy. I'm more so somebody who actually values relationships, values friendship, and if you let the money take that away from you, you're gonna be left in a spot where you're unhappy. So I know that was a big ass yap, but hopefully I articulated that right. All right, so this is kind of my next thing that I learned. It kind of goes with what I was saying with like you come with you. In terms of like the goalpost always changes. So once I got to my first 10, I was trying to get to my first 15. Now I'm trying to get to my first 20, and it's gonna continue going up all the way until fucking millions of dollars a month. But the goalpost always changes, and why that's important is because you have to solve the you problems that you have now. You have to get them done now, because your goals are always gonna change. You're always gonna be chasing more, but you're coming with you. So if you're not happy at 5K a month, you're not gonna be happy at 50K. So you have to find yourself as soon as possible so that you come with you. And obviously it's nice to have more money, more cars, more clothes, whatever, but if you're not happy now, you're not going to be happy with where you're at regardless of the income that you're making. So yeah, I had to like sit down, write, take notes on like what the fuck it is that I actually want, right? That's another thing is like you got to spend time alone. It's important to be surrounded by people who are going to keep you working and keep you going, but also spend time alone, because if you're being a groupie, you want to be around everybody all the time, you want to be in the city all the time, it's like it's cool and all, but you're going to lose yourself at some point. And that's what I realize is I like being alone. I like being here. I like talking to people, of course, online and stuff like that, but like I enjoy being here alone. Every time I'm in a city or on a trip and stuff like that, I'm just thinking about how nice it's going to be to be back in my crib. So yeah, you have to spend time with yourself and value being alone, bro. Or else like you're just gonna get caught up in trying to be somebody that you're not. Yeah, I'm heavy yapping, but hopefully this video doesn't come out too ass. I'm gonna post it regardless, but yeah, man. You come with you, so be happy with who you are now, because you're not gonna be any happier at a different income level if you don't solve the you problem now. But on the flip side to all this stuff, obviously I don't want to make it like a downer video. Um, Bro, it's fucking amazing. I'm free, I'm young, I'm happy, I'm healthy. So don't let this video like scare you away from wanting to make your first 10K or whatever the goal is. But you there is a lot of stuff to consider, bro. Just make sure you stay who you are. Don't let the money change you for the worse. Just use it to become a better person. Um, but um, but yeah, bro, it's great to make money. Like don't shy away from it. I'm happy with what I do. I like being in the info space. I see myself being in this space for a long time. Ultimately, if you never solve the you problem, it's never gonna go away. But yeah, anyways, that was a pretty vulnerable video. I'm getting better at just like explaining myself, trying to articulate my thoughts better into like stuff that you guys would actually want to watch. If you guys want to fuck with me, go follow my Instagram. It should be in the bio on this video. If you want to learn more about what I do, possibly get into it, there'll be a link down below as well. Just to give you like an overview, if you have no clue, I don't know what audience this video is going to hit, but I'm a sales rep for influencers who sell mentorships, courses, programs, etc. I essentially just take the leads that they generate and help close the deal, handle objections with the sales process, get them inside the program, and obviously I get paid. So if that's something that you can see yourself doing, that's personally how I got to my first 10, 15K month. Had no prior experience or anything like that, but maybe I'll make another video kind of breaking down my story because it's changed a lot since the last one. But yeah, if you want to learn more, click the links, go follow me on IG, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.